Hello, welcome to WayPoint Survival. Today, we're going to talk about my top 10 camping hacks. I think you'll like it. Stay tuned. As we get older, it gets harder and harder to get out into the backcountry and camp and enjoy the wilderness like we used to. But I'm finding that things like e-bikes are becoming more and more popular and more common. As you know, I have tested several of them, and today we're on the electric e-bike, and this is the XP Lite, beautiful little bike. We'll be talking a little bit more about that here in a little bit. But right now we're gonna hop on it, and we've got our pack packed, and we've got some stuff that we want to show you today that I think you will find interesting. Just some things, some tips and tricks, some hacks that I've picked up over the years that, again, I think you will find interesting. So make sure and watch the whole video. All right, so here we are at the campsite, and you can see our dog followed us down. Some of you haven't met him yet, but that's Bentley. And so we still have Spirit. He's just really old, and he doesn't travel around with me anymore. But we've got our fire pit here. We're gonna put up the tent, and then I'm gonna show you some of the things that I use for hacks. Again, the backpack is not a large backpack, as you can see. It's got a few things on it here. Sleeping mat, got a tent, got my hat, and doesn't weigh very much. I don't know, maybe 20, 25 pounds. So let's get that tent set up. All right, we've got camp set up, and everything's kind of ready for the night. We've still got a few hours before it gets dark, but I wanted to dig into this pack and show you these hacks that I'm carrying. So these are a few of the things that I have learned over the years that work really well for me. Some hacks and shortcuts, if you will, just some great ideas for the outdoors. One of the first things that I do is anything that I need access to is on the outside if it's something quick. So if I'm carrying a rain jacket, a poncho, an umbrella, something like that, I will want it easily accessible. Right here on the outside, I carry some toiletry accessories. And I have found out that packing all of my gear in Ziploc style bags just works phenomenally well. I've got my water filter here, again, toiletries. I can at a glance see what's in there. Even if the ground is damp, I can put them down and I don't have to worry about my gear getting wet. If I use gear that's in just stuff sacks, unless I've got it color coded and I write on them, it's kind of hard to tell what I have at a glance. And so Ziploc bags are absolutely phenomenal to just make sure that everything's organized in its own separate category, as it were, but easily accessible. So at night, in a hurry, you can just open your pack, dig in, you see exactly what you want, pull it out and use it. Along with that, another example of lightweight gear is I went ahead and spent the money and I bought a titanium frying pan. I don't know what it weighs, but it's super light. And as long as I keep it well greased or oiled, nothing sticks to this, and it's easy to clean, and it does the job. Now, I didn't start off with titanium gear. I started off with the cheapest stuff I could find, and sometimes it was really heavy. But as the years have gone on, I have found that just for the sake of the old knees and back and everything in between, if you can afford to get some lighter weight gear, you're really going to be thankful. And if you buy good quality stuff, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime purchase. You buy once, you cry once, you're done, and then you have something that's really lightweight and easy to carry for the rest of your life. And you just know that having lightweight gear makes it so much more comfortable as you travel from place to place. And speaking of traveling from place to place, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Electric E-Bikes. This is the brand new electric XP Lite 2.0. It only weighs 49 pounds, and it folds small enough to carry in the trunk or even in the back seat of a car. To unfold it and ride it takes only about a minute. No tools needed. You need to get up to speed fast? Just twist the throttle. No pedaling required. And now you're cruising up to 20 miles per hour on pure electric power. A Gates carbon belt drive replaces the messy chain, so there's no grease to get on your pants, and it's practically maintenance free. You know, as important as it is to go, the ability to stop also matters. Powerful dual hydraulic disc brakes with large rotors gives you confident one-finger control, even in wet conditions. The excellent color display indicates exactly how far you can go, and with the optional long-range battery, you can ride up to 80 miles before you even have to think about recharging it. And thanks again to Electric E-Bikes for sponsoring this video. Are you ready to join over 500,000 happy riders? If so, you can click the QR code that's been showing on your screen, or you can click on the link in the description box below, as well as in the top pinned comment of the video. Also make sure and grab your free e-bike cover with the code WayPoint. So check out their amazing lineup of popular electric e-bikes. There's something there for everyone, and at great prices too. The next item that I find really handy and useful is right here. So on the bottom of my pack while I'm hiking, if I set the pack down, it's going to keep it from getting the bottom of the pack wet. But I can also remove this. I've got it laced in here so it doesn't fall out while I'm riding or hiking. This is the older type closed cell foam military mattress, and in order to make it a shorter width so it's not sticking out so far, I cut off a couple of inches on each side. Just trim that down so it makes a much more compact kit to carry. However, something else that this is really useful for is something to sit on or kneel on. So if I'm working on something on the ground and I just need a kneeling pad, that's really comfortable. I can then work in my pack, I can build a fire, keep my knees dry, and because this is a closed cell foam, it's not going to absorb any kind of water. And worst case scenario, if I do have to cross a creek or a stream or something and it gets a little deep, this is a fantastic flotation device. It also makes a really soft and cushiony seat for sitting around a fire. If you need to cook or do anything like that, you just set yourself down. It's better. Again, off the wet ground, I can work on building my fire, I can cook, do whatever I need to. If I wanted to, I could put my back up against a tree somewhere in the woods, and again, have a nice, soft, very cushiony mat. It's not going to get damaged by the water, but it's going to help me be comfortable and keep me off the ground. Naturally, it makes a pretty decent sleeping mat on top of everything, which is the main reason we carry it. Another hack that I like to do, up here at the top again, where it's easily accessible to the outside, I like to carry my headlamp in one of these large Tic Tac bottles. So here's the strap, goes up inside of the hat. This is a Petzl headlamp. Works real well. Always carry extra batteries. Now when it comes to these batteries, I like to carry them in a waterproof tiny Ziploc type case, and I absolutely love these Energizer lithiums. They are expensive, it's true, but they will go to like 120, 130 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way down to 20 to 30 below zero Fahrenheit, and they weigh 1/3 of an alkaline battery. So 3 of these batteries weighs the same as a full-size alkaline by itself. So that gives me a very wide temperature range. They have a shelf life of 20 to 25 years. And with a headlamp like this Petzl, which is only like 23 lumens, it gets something like 140 hours on each set of 3 batteries. So this is a great way to carry it. A large Tic Tac bottle, and everything fits down inside really nice. Just stick that in there like that. This goes to the side, and then you just roll up into the top the rest of the strap, snap it shut, and there you go. Handy little hack for you to carry your headlamp. This way it doesn't get crushed and accidentally turned on, so when you get to camp, you don't have a headlight. Another camping hack for you is always carry some sort of a backup light. Doesn't have to be something big, can be something small like this. I would not recommend using your cell phone because you may need it for emergency calls and you don't want to wear the light out or run the battery down simply by using it to walk around at night. So what this is, these come from 9voltlight.com. It's literally just a 9-volt battery, and it's got a little switch here. You got one setting there and high there, so low and high, one way or the other. Center is the off position. And all this is just a cap that fastens on here. Super convenient and handy. And the amazing thing about this, you get these from 9voltlight.com. This is a glow-in-the-dark cap as well that helps you see it. But you get something like 900 hours of burn time if you use a lithium battery on this, like you have for a smoke detector. So with this kind of light, it's not a lot of light, but it's enough. Put it around my wrist using the little strap. You can see that. That's where I got it from. I have no interest in the company. I've had these for years. I think they're an amazing emergency backup that weighs almost nothing, but ensures that I have hundreds of hours of light in case my main light fails. On this side, we've got our water bottle in there, and then you can see all the gear in Ziploc bags. Very easy to see. Extra socks and underwear. I have a hat and some gloves. I have some rice for over the fire. I have some coffee, some bannock, a freeze-dried meal. So everything that I need at a glance, I can see it's literally right here in this bag. Easy to grab a hold of. I can set it aside. I can put it in the tent. I just love carrying my stuff in Ziplocs. Now, I don't carry everything in Ziplocs. Some of them are pretty obvious, like my fire kit. And many of you have seen this before, but this is an all-comprehensive fire kit, survival kit, with knife and saw and matches and fat wood and all the stuff that I might need, including my large ferro rod. So I can just carry this, and that's easily to recognize. It's easy to see, so I don't really have to have this in a Ziploc because I know exactly what it is. Another thing I don't have to carry in a Ziploc is my Snug Pack warm weather sleeping bag. Again, there's nothing in here but a sleeping bag, so this doesn't need to be in a Ziploc unless I'm trying to keep it extra dry. Other than that, again, it's usually just the small gear that I do that with. Coffee pot, same way. Another little hack that I like to do is I like to bring one of these Sialume sticks. It's one of these chemical lights. And what you do, of course, you open it up and you activate it, and then you hang it from someplace at your tent. So I'll take this once it's activated and I'll hang it somewhere, either from one of the guy lines, one of the loops like this on the door, kind of get that in there. And what that's going to do for me is if I have to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom and I'm away from camp, I can easily see where my tent is. Otherwise, it's pitch black. It really helps you not get lost when you can just easily look to where your tent is. You can see that bright glow. It could be green or red or whatever. Do get one of the longer burning ones, and you can get them for 8-10 hours, something like that. And it's just such a super help in finding your way back to your shelter. We find out in search and rescue that a lot of people will just wander off. They might be just 100 feet or 30 or 40 meters or so from their campsite, and they turn around and everything's dark and they get lost. But if you got something like this, you can put this on your tent, you can put it on your hammock, wherever you want. But that is a great hack to help you see your camp at night. They're lightweight. You can bring 2 or 3 of them with you, one for each night or whatever you want to carry. But I think that's really convenient. Now this next hack is something that is really important. You can't see it on the camera, but there's a guy line right here, and it's going down to a stake. And I already, even though I knew it was there, I already tripped on the one on the other side. Now for those of you that live in areas where they don't have plastic bags, this is not going to work for you. But I always like to bring plastic bags with me of some sort so that I can throw my garbage in there. But what you can do is you can take and you can rip this handle off, just like this. There's one on each side. Again, we get this strip, and then you just come around here with a simple just hitch like that, and now we have something that we can see. We do that to each side. Now, in the case that you don't have plastic, you can take a strip of your handkerchief, and you can do quite the same thing. Just loop it around once so it's easy to get off, and there you go. Now we have something that we can easily see. We're probably not going to trip over that so easy. It's much easier to see at night when you've got your headlamp on, and I just think that's a great hack, something that you really should think about doing whenever you go out and about, and make sure that nobody's tripping over your guy lines at night. Now the last hack I want to show with you might be the most important. I always carry fatwood with me. These are the longer type fatwood sticks that you buy from like Walmart in a box, and I split them down and cut them in half so they'll last longer. But one of the things you run into often in the backcountry is you need an emergency fire, something that you can maybe make some hot chocolate or a coffee or something over if you get hypothermic, or maybe you just have to have a fire really quick. Well, carried both in a Ziploc bag, and the fact that fatwood is relatively waterproof all by itself, all you need to do is find a green stick, and green sticks work best. You want to take the knife and you want to whittle the bottom end into a point. Doesn't take too long. So something like that will be sufficient. And then, this is a little bit fiddly, but it's not hard to do once you get a hold of it. We need to have a little bit of wire, and we need to take the fat wood and we need to start going around the stick, just like this. Now we take our wire and we start here at the top, go around, try to make that as tight as you can. You can leave a little bit sticking out. And we're just going to progressively twist this tighter and tighter. You don't have to use the whole wire if you don't want, but you'll get the idea in just a minute. Once we get to the other end, so we don't have to cut the wire, we just take and twist the pieces together. And when you're done, you'll have something that looks like that. So now we've got something that looks like this, again about a knuckle's width down into the bottom where the green stick is. Again, it's important that this is green. You can always find something, honeysuckle or anything like that, that's just in the way and a nuisance plant anyhow, and you can trim that off. This is about maybe thumb thickness. You want this to be pretty good size around. So again, something like that. Wherever you're going to have your fire, you want to go ahead and get that in the ground a ways. So get you a hole ready. And then you can use a match. You can use whatever you would like to light this. We're just going to use our handy dandy Bic lighter. And go ahead and light it all the way around. Let it get burning really good. Now it's important that you allow this to catch fully. So just kind of hold it upside down like that until you're sure that it's going to burn well. And go ahead and put it down in the hole like this. Go ahead and get up a quick tripod system and get your hot drink ready, whatever you would like. Got our coffee here, and then we can just adjust it however we want. So wrapping this around a little bit. But that is now an emergency fire starter, and that's going to help us get our coffee nice and hot. And just like that, we've got a fast fire, easy to make. We didn't have to look for any firewood. And believe me, that's going to burn long enough with all that fat wood on there for us to go ahead and be able to warm this up. And then if we've got the time and we need to build a fire, we can always use the fat wood, of course, as a base and just put more sticks, even damp sticks on it. And it works really well. So something for you to remember, nice little hack for camp. And the good thing is if you use steel wire, it doesn't burn up. You can just kind of wipe it off with a rag, roll it back up, stick it back in your pack for the next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little adventure. Just a few little things. When you go out camping, it doesn't take a whole lot of gear, small backpack, a lot of great things in it that I can use, make myself comfortable at night, especially in warmer weather. As always, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for watching. This is James Bender for WayPoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below, just under the More button. While you're down there, you'll also find a link where you can purchase your very own electric e-bike. You'll also find the links for waypointsurvival.com, where you can sign up to take in-person classes at our beautiful training facility here in Southern Ohio. You'll find our link for our WayPoint Survival digital class. This is where you can train in the comfort and convenience of your own home, the top 20 skills that we consider to be the most important from our Phase 1 Survival and Bushcraft class. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We'd appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.